What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? You are on the sidelines with the Sideline guys. And today, I'm joined again by my esteemed co host, my brother in arms. The reason why we're all here at all, my guy, Derrick Myers. How's it going, brother?
All is well, brother. How you doing?
Oh man, phenomenal. Doing much better. A little sick, right? A
Yeah.
little under the weather here in New York, but we are surviving nonetheless. And it's a beautiful time to
So,
be alive. You know why? Because the OTS machine continues to chug along in a way that is just phenomenal. So if you want to continue to get all of this amazing content sent directly to your eye sockets as well as your ear holes, you can make sure that you're following the brand at OTS Media Co. on all social media platforms. OTS Media on YouTube. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you are fully aware every time one of our awesome shows are headed your way. But with all that being said, Derrick, I'm gonna let the people know, God damn it, because I'm excited. We got our weekly show, of course, but then we got the return of
yes,
some
sir.
more Sideline guys action with a big UFC fight card this week, UFC 309. So for all that coverage, why don't you follow me at Negron MMA on Twitter as well as the TikTok machine? And you could also catch me at Chris Negron _ on Instagram. Derrick,
Yes,
where
sir.
can the people find you?
Hey, you can follow me at Derrick_OTS. That's Derrick, the black way to spell it. Yo, and real talk, real quick, I'm so tired of Chick-fil-A, bro. They keep messing up
Whoa.
my name. They keep messing up my name. I,
Oh,
Between them and Starbucks, I got Darek. I got Derik. Like, who's
whoa.
spelling it like this, bro?
Derrick is wild. I gotta say that. But wait, I'm concerned. I'm a little concerned now, right? I gotta ask you this off the top because as a big back,
Yeah.
the representative big back of the group, I gotta ask. So is this a breakfast occasion, right? That you go because you
Yes.
mentioned it alongside Starbucks, right? So what's the order looking like when you pull up at Chick-fil-A
Oh,
to be
Chick-fil-A,
misnamed?
man. Hey, you want a big back order, bro?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Get the chicken and egg biscuit.
Mm,
Literally
okay.
the chicken and egg biscuit. And my dad actually put me onto that because when I first heard about it, I was like, that sounds disgusting as hell. But for some reason, bro, that fried chicken on top of that egg inside that biscuit.
Whew.
Oof.
Damn, that's
Uh,
spacing. I just gotta say, there's a career here, right?
hey, man.
What kind of delivery, music delivery? I don't know, but that was smooth as shit.
Hey man, look, is that and Starbucks? I don't really have an official order, bro. I'm still trying.
Ooh,
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That whole venti, that whole
oh
that
yeah,
all that BS, man. That thing confusing me, man. Like I
you
walk
still on
in like,
that, bro?
hey man, grande venti or whatever. Like, nah.
That's why I always look up at those cups. I'm like, yeah, I know it's there, right? I don't
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
play this guessing game, venti, fenti. I want
I'm
the
like
fucking
medium.
large, and I want ice water. All right,
Yeah.
all right, real quick. I just gotta say this, and we'll move on. As the resident big back, I acted surprised, right? I gave you your props, but that shit was a little weak. I'm not gonna lie, that shit was a little weak.
Really?
So,
Nah,
so
bro.
look, I
Hey,
like the choice, right? You gotta get the chicken biscuit, but you gotta get the spicy one. You can't get the regular one. I know it's a
so
morning
okay,
thing.
I got you. I
Okay.
got you. The spicy sandwich, I can't rock with it though.
Ooh, okay. I don't blame you.
I can't rock with it. I like the original,
Hmm.
and maybe it's just me. I think it's just me.
I respect it.
I like things how they're supposed to be. Don't mess with my stuff, bro. Don't add. Don't subtract. Keep it same and consistent.
Hmm.
Spicy, I don't rock with it.
Okay. I respect that.
I
The
just don't
hash
rock with it.
browns, they definitely do add to the equation, right?
Hey, now the hash browns are good, but you know what makes it even better? Tell them to fry it hard. Either the hash browns or the fries.
Damn. So I gotta go in there. Let me get my shit walk hard.
Yeah.
I never heard of that. I never heard. Yeah, I never heard of that.
Yeah,
But
man.
that sounds fire.
Bro, I'm telling you, like you don't get the flimsy, the little turtle shell
Oh,
fries. I hate that mess, bro. But you get it fried hard. It's a nice crunch and it's nice and fluffy in the middle. Fried the way it's supposed to be fried.
hey, if I asked for that in New York, word for word, bar for bar, Listen, they might tell me it's my pleasure still, but they gonna pause me, right? It's New York. You can't say that shit here
Yeah,
in New
yeah.
York. But I'm a definitely have to take you up on that. That
You
sounds
got to.
great. I gotta give you my Starbucks order now. So you see, I don't really do the Starbucks foods, right? I feel like that part
Yeah,
not really for me. I'm more of a drink guy. I will be honest. I haven't been supporting Starbucks for a while now, but that's
yeah,
another story.
yeah, yeah.
But my order, we gonna get the grande because we're not going crazy, right? We're just gonna get the small one.
Hmm.
But this is the key right here. This is the key. No matter what, this is what I always get. You get a shaken espresso, right? This is key. This
Okay.
is key. And then you get the cold foam of your choice that is in season, right? Some of my favorites,
Ooh.
speaking of butter pecan. Um, this one, underrated. Sounds dangerous, right? It's underrated though. We
Hmm.
got toasted marshmallow, fire, but seasonal, right? Seasonal. So you got to catch it when you catch it. The most recent one that I tried, and once again, it's been a while since I've been in the area, but they had some kind of like apple cold foam that was
Hey.
phenomenal. So no matter what, shaken espresso, little cold foam on top. You don't need to add sugar, nothing. That cold foam carries you through the experience, and don't mix it. That's the rookie mistake. I thought when I
Okay.
got into this, I thought I was a connoisseur. Don't mix it. All that's gonna do is distribute your flavor in places you don't want it. When you leave that cold foam on top, every sip comes with everything you need. So how about that?
Really?
Yeah.
All right, bet. Bet. I've never tried the cold foam, so I'm gonna have to give that a shot.
Oh yeah. Just be
Yeah.
careful. Make sure you tell Mariah the origins, right? When you pull up with
Yeah.
a Starbucks order, that
Yeah.
I gets dicey. I know it gets dicey as a
Nah,
man in a
but here's the
relationship
thing.
as well.
She doesn't like coffee, right?
Uh-huh.
How about in the last month, maybe actually less than a month, she has gotten she's had about like four different coffee orders.
Hmm.
Two, yeah, about two from Starbucks and then two from the hotel we were staying in Philly. Like shocked the hell out of me. So I
Wow.
think I might be slowly getting her into coffee. I mean, she probably hear me saying this right now, but she might be getting into coffee a little bit more than I thought she would be, and I'm excited about that. So
Hey, I love that. The
yeah,
newlywed Mrs. and Mrs. Who knows, right? There
yeah.
might be a little bit something else going on, right?
Hey,
That we
look,
don't know about, but
we don't
God,
know.
prayerfully, who
We
knows?
don't
When the
know.
time is right.
Hey, look, actually, an espresso martini. I'm still trying to get her an espresso martini. Those
Never
are
had that
fire.
either.
Those are fire.
I gotta try it.
Those are fire. I mean, like,
There's some real hype around
we
these.
need to
Shout
do
out
a food
Sabrina
show,
Carpenter,
bro.
right? There's some real hype around these. Shout out
Yeah.
Sabrina. Never tried it. So can I ask, is this a harsh coffee? Like, is it a strong coffee in that
So
martini?
it's a espresso liqueur, I believe.
Okay.
So they do have a shot of espresso in there, but it's like a coffee or espresso liqueur. Oh my god! And my sister turned me on to those.
Hmm.
We need to do a food show.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm convinced of it now. There's one that was supposed to be Julio and I had been discussing for a while, so we'll have to rehash that and bring that back because I think that'd be a good thing to do.
Hey man, there's a lot of different people we could bring on as guests.
Yeah.
I'm trying to create a difference, right? Not only in the world, not only in your hearts, but in
Yes.
your waist size. But with all
Hey.
that being said, let's move on, baby, to what we have. An amazing NBA season. Holy shit. And it's all unfolding right in front of us. Derrick, we've got one undefeated team left in the National Basketball Association.
Yes.
And somehow this is the team that time forgot, right? The Cleveland Cavaliers, old Believeland, has somehow, without Kyrie Irving, without LeBron James, found themselves to be 12-0 at this point in time and not slowing down
Yeah.
anytime soon
Yeah.
either. What about this team makes them special, Derrick?
It's basically like what I told you last week. I just think that that chemistry is there. I think they've had extra time to be around each other. It's a good team. It is a good team. I'm not looking past them, man. I'm not looking past them. I think they're very well balanced on their roster. So I'm looking like honestly, it looks like that could be the Eastern Conference Finals matchup, right?
And obviously you don't want to be too early, right? Too
Yeah,
hype on the early breakout from the starting line. But I gotta
yeah,
say, I think the most surprising part of me, chemistry wise, is the storyline around I was about to say Julius, Mr. Garland, Darius Garland.
bro.
It was such a big talk of conversation before the season about him potentially even getting moved, right, in order to
Yeah,
create a different dynamic in that backcourt. Seeing what he's been able to accomplish and that sort of 1-2 punch that they have lined up, really, really effective. But also, I think this is the key, right? Hands down, star it. You gotta hope your draft picks fucking materialize and continue to develop. But Evan Mobley is that guy, right? And is
yes,
a new variation of what it means to be a big man in today's NBA. Obviously, we've seen different iterations of this throughout his career, right? And his blossoming. But to be able to be a full time starter and getting it done on both ends of the floor, really having the offense run through him in a lot of different ways, was been the biggest difference in my opinion as far as what's making him successful now. So really excited to see that continued development. And man, there's just so many different angles we could tackle this from. But do you find it strange, right? We knew that the East was always going to be top heavy, right? But
yeah, yeah,
right now, we've got this undefeated juggernaut, 12-0, and then we've got your Celtics right not far behind, I believe 9-1,
yeah.
and then the
Two.
third place team in the Eastern Conference is the Indiana Pacers at 5-5.
Yeah.
Is this something that you see going to level out as the rest of the season goes on, or can we expect this disparity between the conferences?
I think it'll level out. I mean, honestly, one of the things that um has taken place, especially in the early part of the season, is just a ton of injuries, man. Like a lot of people have been getting hurt at a enormous rate. That is the one thing that oh, sorry. That's the one thing that I think that they um especially the Sixers. Sixers are the ones that I think that have been dealing with it the most, right? Like Embiid and Paul George being out, that's that was a crazy start to this season. But I mean, they're not gonna stay where they are. I think they're like 12 or 13 right now. They're not gonna stay there. But how far do you think they're gonna actually get?
It's crazy. I don't know, man. And it's weird too because you look at the other teams that you think was going to take a step, right? Indiana, you think they were slotted in to be the next guys, and it's like their chemistry seems a little bit off, especially defensively. I mean, that's always been their issue, right? But
Mhm.
I don't know. I just found it so strange looking up and down those standings. I'm like, dude, the fucking 11th place team in the West is 5-5. And this is
Right,
the third place team in the
right.
East. Like it's crazy. Obviously, it's close once you hit that 5-5 mark.
Mhm.
But still, it's just jarring to look at. I'm sure it'll continue to even out as things go on. But who would
Yeah.
have thought, right? The Cleveland fucking if there was a surprise team ever, god damn it, it was the Cavs. I thought they might have blown it up this year.
Yeah, that was one thing at the beginning of the season I was telling you. I looked like Darius Garland was one of the guys that I was looking at this year to have a really good season. Um, I the whole idea of blowing something up, um, or blowing a team up like that, to me always seems strange. Like you got to give them time to grow. There are certain teams where you look at them and it's like, nah, that they're just not gonna do it, right? Like the Heat, for example, they're not going to do it, especially with Jimmy Butler. Like they're just it's not gonna happen. Um, but there are other teams where you look at them and they're young and there's just kind of like hitting their stride. The overreaction to breaking up a team like that whole thing is just always blown my mind. I don't get that. I don't get that. They're doing what they're supposed to do. Like any this idea of breaking up different players because they're just not living up to your expectations right now is stupid. It's stupid, and I don't. Maybe I was too young, but I don't remember this being an issue. Um, when we were kids, I don't remember that being a point of conversation a lot. Where teams just weren't doing it like within the first year or two. Like that I don't remember that being a thing. If it was, I just wasn't paying attention to it as a kid. But that's the one thing I hate about sports right now. Everybody just wants to be like ahead of the curve with the narrative, and then and it's one of those things where like you see they did the same thing with the Celtics, break up Tatum and Brown.
Yeah.
Had they done that 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, they would not be champions right now.
Yep.
You know
And
what I'm
favorites
saying?
to do it all again.
Yeah. So like this idea that to break a young team up makes no sense.
It's weird though, because I'm on both sides of this coin. I think there definitely is room for that when, like you said, you see the wall, you see what's coming.
Yeah.
As an OKC fan, I've been through this, right? Many times,
Right.
about 4 times.
Yeah.
And each
Yeah.
time, each iteration, right, you see it coming a little bit sooner than the last.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's just more so like once again, the instant gratification of sports, right? At the end of the
Yes.
day, now it's either you want to be bad or you want to be good, right? You don't want to be in the middle, and that's a really good, realistic way to look at it, right? When your goal is championships.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it is hard to find that balance, right? When as a franchise do you know we were robbed, right? Who knows what could have been with those Nets teams over there? I mean, there's a couple of them, right, that you could point to, um, and
Yeah.
and and others, right? There's a lot of different plugs that got pulled too early, and we'll never get to find out. But yeah, man, I think especially with me being an OKC fan, I relate to that heavy, right? I've seen these guys grow up and have culture when we sucked, and it didn't make sense that we were defending the way we were when we were absolutely at the bottom of the West.
Right.
And eventually those things work their way up, and then now you're starting to see your records actually getting good because you care about being good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's where the key will continue for a lot of these teams about deciding whether you're going up or down.
Let me ask you something. What do you think about the Denver niggas or Nuggets?
Listen, all right, sneaky, sneaky, because I know that was not an accident.
No.
But holy shit, that was an awesome clip, right? Gotta say, I love how he like in real time kind of had to decide. Okay, I kind of want to give it to you, but I can't give you the pass, right? You already fucked that up, so now we gotta laugh at you, right?
What? There ain't no pass, bro.
There ain't not, there's none coming.
It's no pass. Like that's I
How does that
I
happen? Like
it
how does
it
that
happens
happen?
because of someone who's not supposed to be saying his word says it all the time. That's how it happens. I say it, and I've never called them that before.
Yeah,
You
those two
can't
words are
mix the
very
two
far
words
apart.
up.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah, I can't imagine a context in which I will be like, "Hey, I get it."
Right, yeah. Maybe if they were, maybe if the word was niggets, like maybe, uh, but I don't get it because I've never said that before. I've never said that before, but
Yeah,
that is one team I will say. If you could see a wall coming for them, that might be one because
yeah.
they gave up pieces like right after the championship
Hmm.
run. They gave up a couple pieces that really were big for them off
Yep.
the bench. And now we're seeing where teams that I mean I'm assuming this is coming from the point of where the whole CBA issue is coming into play, and now you got higher taxes with certain teams. I can't imagine they're not gonna try and revise that come the next CBA thing coming up, but right now, yeah, that's gonna be one of those teams that get messed up from it. Eh, I can't imagine what their run would have looked like had they kept those guys together.
So on the one hand, once again, I'm gonna do this sneaky car salesman agree and disagree again. I
Yeah,
do think that they gave up too early on that window. But I also think that they are filling those holes very nicely, right? Don't call him Christian Braun, call him Mr. Brown, because the guy's out there figuring things out as their what is he, quasi starter, six man. Sometimes he
Yeah.
starts, sometimes he comes off the bench. You got to find a way to fill those roles, right? Especially if you're going to give up on them in that way. I always thought it was weird when you have a championship team, like you already won. At that point, why do you care about money? Like, with all due respect, I get you're not a list Lakers type franchise,
Correct.
but
Yeah.
you only get that window so many times. As someone whose team has only been to the finals once, you only get that window so many
Yeah.
times. So
Yeah.
you got to make sure you capitalize and you hit that button. I think that Denver might end up in that fortunate position just because of what they've been able to do, scrapping the roster together behind the guys they have. I think they got a lot of good developmental pieces and rookies even that aren't heralded or known or necessarily coming from a big school, but are really contributing to that team in a way that promotes winning, and they look good. So we'll see. Only time will tell.
Hmm.
But those some real nuggets right there. Next up, we gotta move on to something that we could keep brief, right? But what the fuck was that, right? I get everybody's all jokes and everybody's all laughy, right? We could catch Jaylen Brown in the act, right? We could ha ha ha. But y'all are some fucking losers, Derrick,
Yeah.
and you predicted this downfall more than anything. So can you speak a little bit to that moment, right? The moment that you saw the infraction that Giannis is over here trying to little bro Jaylen Brown, and his reaction, right? That little smirk after.
Yeah.
That moment right there really is a microcosm for their season, isn't it?
Yeah. And honestly, I think it speaks to the focus, I think, that is there. I'm not saying Giannis isn't a focused player, right? But he's not willing to develop his game the way Jaylen Brown has been willing to develop his game.
Talk your shit.
And I think that's part of what Jalen was discussing when he said, yeah, like he's a kid. Like there's levels to this, right? Giannis, to me, right now, I I can't outside of Milwaukee's organization, when you're looking at the league in general, are we looking at Giannis right now as a Hall of Fame type of player?
I think so. Certainly. Certainly.
Okay. I don't. I personally I just don't. And I think it part of it like is because elements to his game just aren't what they should be. So I like for example, when when we've discussed this, the whole bullying into the lane type thing, that's that's there's ways to do it where you're not looking like a clown. Shaq, for example, was dominant in the paint, didn't look like a clown. He was serious. Giannis is always trying to do extra stuff with his domination in the paint, and it's just weird. It makes no sense to me. So that part of it, he doesn't have any handles, nothing to speak of, and he's also like he's an okay perimeter shooter, but part of what I think would open up that whole offense is being able to be a threat from the perimeter. You know who's a threat from the perimeter? Jaylen Brown. You know who has handles? Jaylen Brown. You know who's worked on his handles? Jaylen Brown. You know who's a great two-way player? Jaylen Brown. Like, cool. Like you got your little thing, cool, cool. But you know what I'm saying? Like one of the things that I don't appreciate about Giannis is he is kind of a dirty player, bro.
Yep.
He is kind of a dirty player. And I'm not saying this just because of what he did with Tatum. I've seen this against multiple like multiple games against other teams.
Yep. And we've
It-
had this conversation as well.
yes.
Last year, I think it was.
Yeah. Like he's not stupid.
Yeah.
He does what he does for a reason. You know, and I don't know, man. Like cool. You do what you do, and it works for you, but at the same time there's a way that I think you're supposed to be able to respect the game that I think he doesn't respect the game the way he should. I just don't. I don't. It is what it is. But yeah, the way Jalen said it, he's a kid.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It, I do blame Doc more than anything, but this team overall wasn't going anywhere before they hired Doc. So,
No.
and you could argue, obviously, Adrian Griffin had those guys moving differently, and that was even before Dame woke up from that slump, right? Like, I
Yeah.
think Dame is now back to what you can expect from Dame Lillard. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's crazy, but I just think it's hilarious that moment, right? And what it means because you see him so happy. It's like, what the fuck are you happy about right now?
It makes no
Um,
sense.
yeah, you're just
Makes no sense.
accepting and embracing mediocrity.
Yeah.
But you know who doesn't do that? Adam Silver in the WNBA. I mean, and the NBA, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Because tonight is the start of something big, right? There's not mediocre about this. We have the aptly named NBA Cup beginning with obviously a lot of marquee, awesome games. But I got to ask you, Derrick, is there a group that sticks out to you or a matchup that sticks out to you? Because, man,
Ooh.
I got my eyes on everything obviously that involves the West, but there's a couple of these groups, man, that are just complete seesaw. Holy shit. These guys that are broke on this team are going to be struggling because there's no way that they're making
Yeah.
it out of the pools. Like there's a couple of murderers row here.
Yeah. Um first glance, I think East A is going to be interesting. And that's mainly because the Knicks, Orlando, and shockingly Charlotte. I think those teams are really good. You know, I'm not even looking at record. I'm just based on how they're playing for the most part. I think that group is going to be good. I think at the beginning of the season, East B kind of looked like that too.
Mhm.
Um, not really too high on it now though.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really high on it. West C is going to be pretty interesting. West C is going to be
West
very
is the
interesting. You know
one.
why?
West C is the one.
Yeah. that
Holy.
one that one that one looks like it's going to be like the toughest one.
Yeah.
It's
Each
going to be
game.
yeah. That's going to be the toughest one. And to be honest, I'm actually shocked by the Warriors this year.
Yeah, me too, man.
Surprisingly shocked. They're looking really nice. They're looking really nice.
And so are the Mavs, even though their record isn't pointing in that direction either. So it's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck
Yeah.
went on here? Obviously, there were some big name acquisitions, but people that I mean, shout out to Kyle Anderson, right? Slow mo, one of my favorite guys to watch play because I think he adds a lot to that team too. But just
Hmm.
a lot of names that you're not looking at like, hey, that's really going to take them over the top. And clearly they gel just where they need them to. So
Yeah.
excited for that. Obviously, the Grizzlies. Shout out to Zach Edey, one of my favorite young players in the NBA. Period. Right, this guy's
Yeah.
just a fucking animal. Right, just a huge physical, imposing bruiser, right? But
Hmm.
also not going to let you get away with shit. I don't know if you saw this
Yes.
most recently, right? Where there was a play where he got elbowed in the face, and man, there was hell to pay for the man that did that to him, right? You love to see as someone who plays ball, and sometimes you gotta show it. You gotta make sure they know, right? We ain't
Hmm.
gonna fucking back down, and to see
Hmm.
that from a rookie, that's going to be someone that's going to really change the culture in Memphis, regardless of
Yes.
those young guys and their reputation. I think you see a guy like that leading just with his presence, man. You got to be ready to run through a wall for him.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I think that's gonna open up Morant's game a little more too, because you have a lot of options with the pick and roll. I just I am very intrigued by Memphis this year. A lot of guys were injured last year, so they couldn't do anything. But I think they're going to be very interesting this season. So yeah, I mean that group right there, that's a crazy one to. I'd hate to be in that group.
Hell yeah. And we didn't even talk about our groups, right? The B groups with our teams in them and what those groups look like. So so much to look forward to with this NBA Cup. But I gotta ask you, right? Because I'm a little confused, right? I need
Yeah,
some clarification here. How is this working this year? Do we know? Is it gonna be straight through? Or is it gonna be we have one game today that is a part of the NBA Cup? Or did they fix that? Because I think it's straight through now, right?
I think it is. That was the craziest thing last year. Like I understand, it's the first one. You gotta work through the kinks a little bit, but I hated that. I absolutely hated it. I don't know if they excuse me, if they changed that whole thing where um you have to beat your opponent by a specific amount of points or something like that in order to
Hmm.
I forgot how it was. That was the weirdest thing too.
Yep.
Like I didn't know what it unless if you weren't watching it with the announcers like detailing it, you were lost.
Hmm.
So that's the aspect of it that I hope they fix this year as well because like you win. Like it shouldn't matter like how many points you beat the team by or whatever. Win the game. Like I like just let's just do a regular tournament. We don't have to worry about the intricacies of it. Like just let it be what it's supposed to be.
Makes sense, and that way too. Now we know the difference, right? I remember the a couple of those days where you show up to the game and you're like, hey, we care tonight. Like, are we
Yeah.
locking in? Because
Yeah.
we're facing the Magic. Like, we don't really
Yeah.
need to, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think it is straight through. So we got that to look forward to. Now I gotta ask, right? Hot take, obviously it's easy for us to pick our team. So besides our teams, if we're going with one team to look out for, right? One team that, hey, maybe this isn't the favorite coming in, but this is the one to watch out for, right? The Lakers won it last year. So was it the favorite to win it all? End up being able to pull it off. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with the Warriors. I think their
Dang.
players have a lot of things to fucking play for, and I think a lot of those guys on that team could enjoy a couple of extra dollars on top of the chemistry and the way that they're playing right now. I think it just all lines up well, right? So keep your
Yeah.
eye on Golden State.
Yeah, well, that was mine. So I'm gonna just throw one out there. If there's a surprise one, I think it's gonna be coming from that group as well. Give me the Grizzlies.
Wow, look at that! Look at
Yeah,
that!
yeah, give me the Grizzlies.
Lock in for the NBA Cup because it's gonna be crazy. We got a couple of weeks of this before it goes back to normal, but I think the coolest part about it is these Detroit Pistons, right? First couple weeks, hey, Tobias Harris, I'm gonna need you to shoot a mid range. Right? I'm gonna need you to make one. But now that things are catching on, right? This is a competitive team, right? This is a
Yeah,
team that's out here looking to do things, looking to accomplish things. And you couldn't have said that a couple weeks ago. So I want to see how their game ratchets it up too. So if we give you an East team to look out for, how about that? But
hey, that's good. That's a good one. Good shot.
hey, they still suck. But we'll move
Yeah,
on to my favorite part of the show, right? It's only right that we get a big jump on week number 11, ladies and gentlemen. Now, obviously, we got our Thursday night game up there. We're going to get to it in a second, but it's only right that we give our standings updates. Obviously, our head to head pick'ems every single week. Last week, I had the privilege of going 10-4 while
mm,
my guy Derrick doing his damn thing, fighting off all the demons he can, but he went 9-5. So I got an extra edge this week. I got another one. So we are currently sitting at a grand total of 94 wins and 61 losses for your boy. 89 wins and 66 losses for Derrick as we head into weeks 11. We're officially rounded the halfway mark, right? Where it's all downhill from here, Derrick. And it's great that we have this game on Thursday night, man, because these
Yes.
are two absolute powerhouses in the NFL. And I got the best guy I possibly could have to talk about this matchup. So we've been
And
waiting all fucking week for Thursday night.
yes, sir.
Derrick, how do you see this game playing out?
I think this is going to be a very interesting game. I am. I'm not looking past the Commanders. I think that they are a really well coached team. I think I love their roster as well. Shout out to Zach Ertz, former Eagle, well, lifetime Eagle. Let's just say that. But Jaden Daniels, of course, looks amazing. I'm not choosing them though. Obviously, I'm not. We're in Philly, baby.
Hmm.
We're at home. Okay, we sit at the top of the NFC East. We are back in our rightful place. We just put the smack down on the Cowboys. I ain't looking for them to let up off the gas. At this
Hmm.
point, nah, keep going. This is it. This is it. This is where you separate yourselves. And I think that they know what the task is right now. They know what we need to do. So I'm definitely choosing them to win this game. I'm looking to see Jalen Carter pick up Daniels again. I want to see that. I want like I need to see that just for fun. That'd be a great thing to see. But I mean that defensive line is crazy. Shout out to Cooper DeJean as well as Quinion Mitchell. I think the fact that we were able to get both of them in this draft is absolutely insane. And I'm so glad for DeJean because otherwise we'd be getting cooked in the middle, bro. Levante Maddox, I don't know why. For some reason, Vic Fangio just likes to throw him out there just every once in a while in the game. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Maddox needs to retire, bro. Like it's time. It's time.
It's Torch City when Maddox
It's
comes out.
every single time he gets out there in the field, bro. Like, and you know when he's out there too, because it's like, oh dang. Come on, guys. Come on, like lock in, lock in. But it is what it is. Um, I'm picking them to win this game. This is gonna be a fun game to watch. It's gonna be a
Ooh,
very fun game.
I love it, man. I love that we get two of these games this week, right? Between your team and my team, right? Where we have these
Yeah.
divisional matchups that are going crazy with two of the best teams in the NFL. You love to see it. I will say, man, if there's anything that really got me worried for you guys, it was the way that the Commanders lost against the Steelers, right? Shout out to me picking that one. I saw that one
Yeah,
coming, but damn, that
yeah,
was a close ass game.
that
It
was.
could have went either way, and just seeing how much it meant to them, right? And how upset they were by it.
Yeah.
That says a lot, right? That says
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
And with all due respect, sometimes as guys who experience this early losses with their teams, I didn't get that feeling from my squad early
Yeah.
on when we lost those couple games. So to see that so like loud coming off of
Mhm.
those guys, man, really speaks to, man, the Commanders got themselves one of them ones because clearly the culture there is just entirely shifted, which you love to see. Um, I think all things considered, right? You're getting a hungry team at this point too, which makes it tough. I agree with you though. This is a matchup where you have to favor the Eagles, right? Being at home, just the history, right? This
Yeah.
is the epitome of um your god brother somehow accidentally buying Bitcoin and now he's rich, right? Now it's like, hey, like I knew you when you was pop, and now
All
all of a
right.
sudden, right? Now all of a sudden you up and you acting brand new right now. So
Yeah.
there's a lot to be washed off from both of these teams, right? Is
Yeah.
that identity of little brother something that we can escape? Who
Yeah.
knows? I think this game's going to tell us a lot. But man, you know what? I'm shaking things up here. I'm going with the Commanders here. I just feel
Wow.
like all things considered, riding the momentum. Um, I don't think no matter who the fuck it was, nobody wants to see them on this week, given what happened last week.
Mm.
And I think the way they match up with you guys, it's gonna be a fucking scrap. Like no matter what,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
we're probably gonna end up with another 25, 30 kind of game.
yeah.
But I just think the offense is going to be the funnel that keeps this team operating. Obviously, your team's defense picking up, but still not in the form that we expected them to be in coming into the season. I think that's what's going to beat this team, though. Like I think the only way you're really going to beat this team is to really stand out on defense, and the Eagles are capable of that certainly. But I'm not picking them to do it on the night. I got the Commanders.
You know what? And there's one thing that's annoying me about the Commanders right now. Dominic Foxworthy. I saw a clip of him today where they were discussing on Get Up. They were discussing Jalen Hurts, and Mike Greeny said asked is Jalen Hurts the best? I think he asked if he's the best quarterback in the NFC. And Dominique says he's not even the best quarterback in his division. Now, it only took ten weeks for us to get to this point as a narrative. Um, Nothing but respect for Jaden, right? I actually love him, and I hate the fact that he's in Washington because it's Washington, right?
Yeah.
However, I love competition, and I want guys at their best. I want teams at their best when we face them, so that when we beat them, it's like, hey. Um, but pump the brakes, bro. Pump the brakes.
Yeah, that's a hot take, man.
Jaden is nice, but he ain't seen this type of defense yet.
Hey, bro, shout out my coworker Javel. He is very young, right? Very young. And
Yeah,
he makes it seem like I'm about to be 50 years old, right? I'm old as shit to this guy, right? But the best part, right? The reason why I brought up my guy is I tell him all the time, I'm like, hey, you don't even know what you don't know yet. And I think that's the same issue here, right?
that's it.
Obviously, the sample size is amazing, but
Yeah.
let's see this guy go through some shit first.
Yes, we need to see some issues. I mean, I like Hertz has been through a lot of stuff on the sideline. He's been through a lot of stuff, in his career in general with having so many coordinators. He's only had the same coordinator once in a back-to-back season in like 7, 8 years. Give the guy a break, bro. Like he's a winner. He's a proven winner. Like, and I'm not saying Jaden isn't. I've seen it with Jalen though. Like, come on, pump the brakes. The best QB in the division.
Hey man, it's the flavor of the month thing we were talking about, right? I think there was some of this talk too when CJ Stroud took the league by storm last year. It's like, is he
Yeah,
better than would you rather have him than X quarterback? And it's like,
yeah.
yeah, right now.
Right now,
And
yeah,
that may still play out, but
yeah,
we still got a lot to figure out here, ladies.
yeah. Let's just pump the brakes. That's all I'm saying. Let's pump the brakes.
Oh yeah, I agree with that one 100%. Next up, moving on to the Sunday window, 1 p.m. We've got the Raiders on the road against the Dolphins, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
We got a mid off early, baby.
Yes. Get it
Um,
out the way fast.
yeah, Dolphins coming off of a big win on Monday night, but that was a fucking terrible game, right? Trench warfare, if we've ever seen it.
Yeah.
And yeah, this one should be easy for us to rummage through. I'm gonna go with the Dolphins because hey, it worked for me last week.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Dolphins as well, man. But honestly, I don't feel bad. I don't feel good about either one of these teams at this point. And Tyreek is hurt.
Oh yeah, he got stone cold stunned, or whatever it was by OBJ, and now he's injured.
He got a
Which
neck
imagine
injury.
imagine being those guys, right? Where you got fucking Tua trying to tackle motherfuckers, you got OBJ tackling motherfuckers. Everybody's getting injured, baby. We just
Yeah.
handing them out.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I just traded Tyreek in my fantasy for a
Oh
third round pick
wow,
for next year because I'm not.
that's cheap, man. That's
Eh,
cheap as hell. No
yeah.
player, just straight up third.
Just give me a third. 'Cause I'm
Damn.
not doing anything this year, bro.
That's cheap, bro.
I'm not doing anything this year, and I want to stockpile for next year. So
That's fair.
let's just go ahead and get rid of it.
Damn, bro. Yeah, a lot less children now involved on your roster, but it's okay. We'll figure that out on the back end. Next up,
Yeah,
we got the Browns on the road against the Saints, and holy shit, if
yeah.
the Saints didn't win last week, this might have been the game to break the tie for first place. Holy shit. First place in the toilet bowl, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, both of these teams are hurting for certain. But Derek, you got to pick one of them. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Saints. Um, they're at home. Believe Miles Garrett is still dealing with that injury. Um, so I'm not gonna expect much at this point. Um, and honestly, if you were in the front office, would you just go ahead based on what your season looks like? Would you just go ahead and shut Miles Garrett down for next year?
Yeah, what are we doing here?
What are we doing here?
Yeah, let the young guys cook. There's still a lot to learn,
Yeah,
but what the fuck? Yeah,
shut him down.
yeah. Nick
We
Chubb
ain't
too.
trade him,
Nick Chubb too. Hey, that them knees hurt. Yeah,
bro.
relax.
You didn't trade any guy like that. If you expect something to happen next year, obviously Deshaun Watson is likely not going to be on the team. Um,
You think so? I think he comes back.
I don't think he comes back, bro. Not to Cleveland. They're non-committal to him. He wasn't playing great before he got injured, and that was over the last what 2 years.
Hmm.
Like you spent a lot of money on him, and he ain't do nothing.
I won't be surprised if he gets a third crack, baby. One more ride.
It is the Browns.
That's so true.
I like that. That is very likely. I
That
I
must
just
be what's swaying me for sure.
right. I can't see it, but yeah, just shut him down for the year, man.
I agree. You could argue the Saints might as well do the same shit too.
They should.
They got a lot going on. But hey, that's also one of those divisions that are always wide open. So who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe they could find their way in 9-9 or some shit. But
yeah,
that'll be a really hard ass too with the way that they're playing, especially offensively. So who Lord knows. I'm
yeah.
gonna go with the Saints too. But yeah, none of these teams should win a game against NFL teams. So doesn't speak to much confidence there. Next
Yes,
up,
sir.
we've got the Colts on the road against the Jets, and we still got Joe Flacco starting. So, Derek, what the fuck is the goal here, ladies and gentlemen?
I don't know, man. I don't know. And I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I almost feel like Shane Steichen is about to get
Get the
fired.
axe, right?
Yeah. I feel like that's about to happen. Because like you sat Richardson down because you thought Flacco was gonna give you the juice. And you see what happened. It-
Yep.
Nothing. You might as well play the young guy so you can figure certain things out situationally so that he could build on next year.
Yep.
I don't know.
One of my favorite posts from the weekend. Shout out a guy that's very close to this podcast. My guy Drop Balls Pod. My guy Chris. See Lou, look at listen. My favorite post that I saw. This guy, he goes, "Hey, well, at least you know our young quarterback Joe Flacco is going to learn a lot from these early interceptions in the first quarter." And I just found that so hilarious because literally within the seconds of the literally the first play of the game, we've got a
Yeah.
pick six. Um, but hey, we got a lot to learn from this pick six, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was a quote too by Shane Steichen where he's like, um, we don't even have a plan for Richardson to start right now, and it's like, well,
Bro.
you might not have a plan to be coaching a team next year because
Yeah.
you are self-sabotaging while simultaneously isolating your franchise quarterback from the fan base. It's hard to be that stupid, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't and they have talented players.
All around. This is not the
All-
Panthers, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
I don't understand it, man. I for the life of me, I don't get it.
Yeah. Who knows what's gonna fix it? Honestly, it doesn't even feel like this is a team that's at odds with one of another. I just feel like they're a team that just for years now have just been on the shittiest exchange of luck. Like you remember what was that 2 seasons ago, where they got kicked out on of the playoffs on the last day of the season against the team that went on to have the #1 pick or some shit. Like
Yeah,
their run of mediocrity is something to behold.
yeah. I don't know what happened. Uh, ever since they after Andrew Luck retired. Maybe
It
it's
used to
because
be
the
a
fact that they booed
franchise.
him. Maybe it's the fact that they booed him. Maybe that's the karma. Maybe that's what it is. You booed the man for choosing his health.
Hey man, the dude was a little weird though. I will
He
be
is
honest.
weird. That he is weird, but
Yeah, got to protect the mind, got to protect the body,
yeah,
and
yeah.
nobody in
Tua
this
should take a
matchup is
note.
doing that for anyone.
Tua should take some notes on that.
Oh yeah, you know what's my favorite archetype of a team though? A
What's
team
that?
that's record is just absolutely ass, but they're all in on winning, right? And you got to feel like both of these teams are that, right?
I,
It's like
I
me in
don't.
one of my fantasy leagues, right? Like I don't
Yeah,
have a first round pick, brother. We're balling. Like
yeah.
it doesn't matter, right?
I
Fuck
mean,
it.
in order to be all in on winning, you gotta make winning like plays, and
Yep.
that's not even on the field. I'm talking about like with working with your team. You gotta do stuff that's gonna actually lead to winning.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe keeping Aaron Rodgers around was one of those things that just wasn't it. Maybe putting all the blame on Robert Saleh was one of those issues. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that's gone on with these two teams over the last couple of years that just make no sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So it kind of does make sense how they are, who the fuck they are,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I'm going with the Colts here because I wanted the Jets to have a late season run so bad. And don't get
yeah.
me wrong, I don't think the Cardinals are trash, but fuck, man, they got
God dang.
absolutely destroyed by a defense that has nothing, like
Nothing.
nothing burgers all
No.
season. So
Yeah,
that's not a good look, man. Not a good sign, especially when you need to win out, right? That's the talk, right? We're gonna
yeah,
win out. Yeah, good
yeah.
fucking luck with that. Give me the Colts.
I'm going to go with the Jets. I don't know.
Hey, shout out
they
Jersey.
they both trash.
Hey, somebody's got to win, brother. That's
Someone
all that
has to win.
matters.
Yeah.
We will be front row to find out who it is. Next up, we've got the Vikings, an actual good team, against the Titans, an actual terrible team. But we have the return of Mr. Mailman himself after that shoulder injury. We got Will Levis back in the flesh. I know
Yes.
somewhere Calvin Ridley is like, "Fuck, man, what the fuck, man?"
What I gotta do?
Exactly. Everything was working out, man. I love Mason. But yeah, good luck, brother.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'll make this one short and sweet, right? I'm picking the Vikings, not because the Vikings have looked amazing, right? If anything, this is the time you want to catch them. But
Mhm.
even though they're not looking as impressive as they have been, they're still finding ways to win. And I think finding a way to win against the Titans in 2024 isn't the hardest thing to do. Watch out for Tony Pollard, though. The dude is still balling. A healthy Tony Pollard is a scary Tony Pollard. But it does feel like that 1-2 punch should be easy enough for the Vikings to figure out between Ridley and Pollard. Give me the Vikings.
Yeah, give me the Vikings as well because I have no reason to choose the Titans.
Hey, speaking of having no reason to pick someone in a divisional matchup, we've got the Packers on the road going up against the Chicago Bears, coming off of a play that we need to talk about on this show, Derek. A play where I don't think it was a sack, right? I think it
Mm,
was like the play was already dead and just the pressure got to him and they eventually knocked him over. But Caleb Williams is there laid out on the ground, right? In the middle of the field and looks dejected, right? Looks real sad.
yeah.
And he looks up for a man to comfort him. And you know who it was? It was a player from the Patriots. What the fuck does that
Yeah.
mean for the Bears? And do you think they could turn it around just in time to face off against their divisional foe that's also heating up at the right time?
Hell no. I think the Bears the Bears are cooked, bro. Like I I don't know what's going on there outside of Eberflus needs to be fired. I don't know why he's still there. I think they fired their offensive coordinator today. Like everyone should have been fired, bro. Like this doesn't make any sense. I saw something today that I think their punter has more punted yards this year than Caleb Williams has in passing yards.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Like over 100. I, I don't know what else to say. This team is an absolute train wreck, bro.
Dude.
And they look good
Right? They
early
don't
on.
look
Like,
bad. Their
so
motion
what
looks
happened?
good. Like I don't know. It's their offensive line. Like
It
that's
is.
the key. It's the offensive line,
It
and then
is.
everything else just sort of falls into place behind it.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta build that offensive line up. And I think that's the unsexy uh route to take.
Yeah.
But it's the one that teams that actually have success always take.
Yeah.
You can't win without an offensive line.
Yeah, and you can never go wrong with a 340-pound white dude. Like you
No,
just slot him in there, bro.
just put them there. See what you can do. Just see. Just look and imagine. Like maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
Have you ever heard of Jamie Foxx's story of when he brought up a young what's this guy's name? Redhead guy. I see him. Ed Sheeran. Have you ever seen him tell that story?
No.
That just reminded me of that so much because I'll give you the headline because then you'll see how it all ties in. But he said I took him to this room. He was like, and it was blacker than black, black, black. Like he said that shit like 3 times. And then he's like, and they asked him, they're like, yo, what are you doing? Like you're gonna fuck up the room, bringing in Ed Sheeran. And he's like, let's see what this guy has though. And that's exactly the same vibe I just got from
Yeah.
you. It's like just throw those guys in there.
Just
Fuck it.
see.
It's a high capital pick. There's obviously a lot to point to if things go
Yeah.
wrong, but
Yeah.
it almost feels like those picks hit more than any other rate of any other position. Am I crazy?
No. I think I'm of the old school thought. Like winning starts in the trenches, bro.
Yeah.
Both the offensive line and defensive line. If you can start building there, then build out, you'll have something to work with. You'll have even if you have a talented rookie coming in, he'll have the ability to just stand up,
Yeah. To be there,
to
right? To
just
do
be
something.
there,
Yeah.
to give you the possibility of gaining 10, 15 yards.
And I can't even shade Caleb for this. Like everyone is just like, "Oh,
It's
Caleb's so
not
trash.
Caleb's
Caleb's so
fault.
trash, bro. Caleb's not even getting a chance." And when he does have protection, dude's out there making plays. So it's
Yes,
like,
it's not his fault. And this is another guy that if they keep Eberflus in, I'll put it to you like this: if they keep him there, I am willing to predict in the next year they're going to try and bench him as well.
wow, yeah, that'll be so fucking dumb if they do. But it's the Bears, right?
It's the
Won't
Bears,
be
bro. Like,
surprised. Number one overall. Fuck it.
yeah. All that being said, I'm going the Packers on this one.
Oh yeah, big time. There's no
Yeah,
way we were picking the Bears after that big time rant.
yeah.
And honestly, I really like where the Packers are headed anyway. I think their defense is finally reining it in,
They're
and then
cooking.
obviously their offense is getting healthy all at the right time too. So
Yeah.
you love to see the momentum on the side of the Cheeseheads in a division that is absolutely stacked. Right? There's no other
Yes.
division where we could have potentially 3 7-win teams.
Yes.
So
Yes.
a lot to be going on in the fucking North. But next up, we move on to the Jaguars on the road against the Lions. Two very large cats going to find a way to brawl each other to the win. Derrick, who you got? And give me a good reason why.
I'm going to Jacksonville Jaguars, bro.
Oh, locked in.
Nope.
No. Mac Jones, brother?
Bro, I
Easy
I'm
Mac with the cheesy wraps.
bro. Look, I don't know why anyone would have any type of hope for the Jaguars this year. Um,
Have you been to Jacksonville?
I have. I actually.
Hey,
It's a
if you
nice
ain't,
place.
it is a very nice place.
Nice place, yeah.
Yeah, if you live in a certain tax bracket,
Yes, yes, that
and
is
then
the
listen,
yes.
it gets it gets dark real quick in Jacksonville. Right?
Yes,
At
yes.
the right time,
Yeah.
shit. There's a lot of shadows to be found, and there's a lot going on right now
Yeah.
around this Jaguars organization, dude. I just right if it's not one thing, it's the other at this point. Sucks that this happened to T Law, skinny
Mm,
dude, big balls. Right, you got to shout him out, but yeah, you got some problems. This team is gonna be bad.
yeah.
Like, I won't be surprised. Actually, I think I might be a little, but like to see them turn around and be a okay team next year, I think won't be surprising just because the talent they have. But clearly, they just need a reset button at this point. This is the ultimate. Hold on, can we start this shit over? Team in the season, and
Yeah.
I was kind of calling on the moment, right? Because we had this before with them where they finished off the last. I think they won like the last 8 games or something like that. Kind of was waiting for that moment this year, man, and it looks like I'm sorry to say it, the Calvary's not coming, ladies and gentlemen. It is over for
Yeah.
all things Jacksonville, and that's the complete opposite for what's going on in Detroit, right?
Yes, complete opposite. I think Detroit is starting to um build on everything as well. I think that's a team that's going to be it's crazy to say, but they're not even missing Aiden, bro. Like it's weird. I, they're crazy good this year. I don't know what else to say. They're
Yeah,
crazy good this year
and they could go out there and be bad and still win,
and
which
still
is
win.
fucking terrifying, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Shout
They're
out to my guy
somewhat
Logic. Shout out to
connected.
he's a member of the family at this point. But he reached out to me and he's like, "Man, this is why I got the Lions in the Super Bowl, right? Because they could go out there and have a game like that and still find a way to win."
Yeah,
I'm like, "Hey, man, it's a good fucking point.
yeah.
Can't argue with you on that one."
No, can't argue it.
Yeah, we're doubling up on the Lions here. Sorry, Jags. Maybe next season. Right? There's always one more
I
coming
don't
right
know,
around the
bro.
corner.
I don't know. I mean, we've been looking at them for the last 2 years, and it was like with excitement. Mm, mm-mm.
Hey, there's one thing I'm confident in. Nobody, nobody in the history of anybody loses faith in white blonde quarterbacks. Next up, we got the Rams on the road against the New England Patriots, coming off of a terrible performance on Monday nights against the Dolphins. Looking to rebound against a team that's not really looking to do much out there, but hey, they got a big win against the Bears last week. Who you got, Derek?
I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna go with the Rams.
The
I don't
Rams are a
see
team.
I don't see the reason to go with the Patriots right now. I just don't.
Yep. They are a team that exists. That's one of my favorite reasons to pick a team. And I gotta say, honestly, the weirdest thing about this team has been their inconsistency. I think one week they'll look like an absolute fucking barn burner offensively.
Yeah,
Next week they'll look really good defensively, and it's
yeah,
never all three things at once. It's always one or
yes,
the other. And then how come this part is missing? How
hmm
come Kyron Williams is sticking his fingers in people's ears? Right? There's a lot of
bro.
things
That
we
was
got to
so
question.
that's the weirdest thing. That was the
Yeah,
weirdest
I
thing.
don't understand that one at all because
Mm.
what bothered me more about the act, right? There's one thing, the act is wrong, right? It's heinous, but how come there was no reaction there, right? There was
That's
no,
what I
hey,
was
get out of my
wondering.
ear, none of that.
You just stand there, yeah, yeah, just mind your business.
Yeah, just
Finger
letting
in
the
your
man
ear,
finger
and
you,
it's
yeah,
ah,
man
yep,
finger you.
yep.
Fuck it,
Yeah. What's
hey,
up?
I got next. You know what I mean? Fuck it. We got the Rams. Next up, hey, we got a good game. Right? In
Finally,
this 1 o'clock window, the last game, we got a good one. We got the Ravens on the road against the Steelers, the Steel Curtain. Can
yes.
you believe this? Week 11, the Steelers are playing there. first divisional matchup of the season. It's strange, right?
Wild. That's wild. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, we know who they're facing, right? The next is one of the foe. But this one is awesome. I think the
Yes.
timing of this match is fucking perfect. I think if we got this matchup a couple weeks ago, it would have felt like a nothing game, right? It would have been, of course, we're winning against the Steelers, right? But this game really puts up the two powerhouses, the force that is the Ravens up against the force that is the Steelers. And I just got to say, man, this team is scary with Mr. Unlimited at the helm.
Yeah.
The guy's balling, right? You got to give credit where credit's due. We
Yeah.
didn't expect it to happen, and he's making it happen, right? So
Yeah.
you got to show respect to someone that's showing out. Shout out to Mike Williams, right? He ran that red line,
Yeah.
right? He ran that red line. A Rod can't tell me he didn't. The
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
Uh, Hey, shout out Sierra too. We trying to get 5. You feel me? Fuck it. We trying to get 5 kids. You feel me? But as far as this actual matchup goes defensively, I'm a little nervous, right? I think what makes this a scary matchup is that this team also has the capacity to put up points now, right? So this isn't a situation where it's like, okay, yeah, we're down and they're stopping us, but all we need is to get right, and then we'll be right back in it. No,
Mm.
this can be a game that could get away from us early, right? So that's why I think there's a real threat here. I think defensively is our biggest problem here. I think that they are going to be able to pass the ball. Now the question is, are they going to be able to run the ball as well? I think we need to key in, right? Key in, take away one, right? And at this
Yeah.
point, I'm not confident that we could take away the pass game of any team, right?
Yeah.
But you can't give them big games to Najee because Najee has been cooking this year as well. Jaylen Warren has taken a little bit of a step back in this role. I think there's some injury concerns there as well.
Yeah.
Nothing uh, sort of flashy, right? So there's not a big story about it. But I think Najee has been doing really well, all things considered. If we can shut down their run, I'm confident we could do well against the pass. But the question becomes if they can continue to have that dual threat and run these RPOs, I think Russell Wilson's going to cook, man. I think this is going to be an offensive game. How the fuck can I go against my Ravens right now, bro? There's no way, right? There's not a conceivable universe.
Yeah.
And this is someone that's high on the Steelers, right? I just think that our upper bound limits for what we could accomplish this year are crazy. I really do believe once we work in Deontay Johnson in a big way, that this offense is going to look even more different than it has, which is something to behold.
Mhm.
I think our tight end situation is still weird. Like, I'm sorry, man. I'm just
Yeah.
here. I'm struggling, bro. I've got boogers all over the place. It's getting bad, ladies and
You're good, bro. You're good.
but no matter how I look at it, I think our team is not only in a better place right now, but we also have more room to grow, in my opinion. I think
Mhm.
the moves we both made, both franchises, at the trade deadline are going to continue to shape these teams. And I think when we face in the rematch, it's probably going to be an even more competitive game than this one is. But give me my Ravens. I think the difference is going to come between Derrick Henry and Najee Harris. And I think I'm picking Derrick Henry in that matchup. I don't know about you, Derrick.
Yeah. Every single time I'm picking Derrick Henry. And I will say I think this is going to be a fun game, but I think it's going to be a close one. Um and in those moments when you have to run the ball, I'm going with Derrick Henry, bro. I'm taking the Ravens on this one, but I think it will be a close game.
Dude, I just got to say, there's one quarterback that is clearly far above the rest of the pack this season in the NFL, and that is MV3. I just got to be honest, right? Fuck being humble, right? This guy's balling on a different level, and I gotta make point of one play from last week,
Mm.
right? Obviously, everyone was hyped up about that scramble because it was beautiful, right? I
Yeah.
evaded 2 defenders and was able to get and score the touchdown. You love to see that too, right? That's a flashy play.
Yeah.
But I was even more impressed by a different play, Derek. There was a play where there was a similar drop back situation, right? Where we've got 2 large dudes coming hot through the trenches, right? And pushing Lamar far out the pocket to his right, way far out the pocket. where it seems like, oh shit, they have the edge. There's no edge with,
Mhm.
with Lamar
Yeah,
Jackson. I'm
yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
He's just like, hey, fuck it, we'll move the edge down a couple feet. Like whenever he decides, he's like, hey, the edge is actually over here, and that's really remarkable to watch. But this dude rolled right the same way he did in that fucking play, and then threw across his body to the left hash to Zay Flowers, caught him
Mhm.
wide open. Holy shit. If you could make plays like that at all, right?
Yeah,
That's fucking crazy to be running a full sprint
yeah,
and then throw across your body to the left side of the field, the opposite side of the field, and
yeah.
throw a dot like in traffic going in the right direction. Like this guy is on a different level of dialed up. And hey, if we can unlock Deontay Johnson in this offense, I don't even know how it would look, right? There's not enough offensive
Right,
plays
right.
to get all
That's
these
not
guys
at all.
going.
Not at all. Not at all. You got to do some special packages for certain guys
Hey,
because that's not
that's a
that.
good problem to have, ladies and
That's a
gentlemen.
great problem to have.
Let's fucking go. Give me my Ravens, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, just like that, we move on to another divisional matchup. I think the divisional matchups are carrying this week. I think those are the
Mhm.
only ones that are exciting, God damn it. We got the Seahawks on the road against the 49ers Sunday, opening our 4 p.m. window. Now the Seahawks need to wake the fuck up, right? Coming off of a bye, it's due time.
Yeah.
But I think they're catching the 49ers at the wrong time of the season. These guys seem to be figuring things out, obviously, after Christian McCaffrey returned last week. Who you feeling in this divisional matchup?
I am going to go with the Niners in this one. Um, I don't want to. I really don't. Um, but there's no reason for me to choose the Seahawks right now. I just there's no reason, and I think one of the interesting things about the Niners, we've discussed this earlier in the season, but they still don't look like the Niners we're used to, and it's for a myriad of reasons. There's definitely injuries that play a part of it, but that dynamic play that we're used to with the offense just hasn't been there this year. Um, so yeah, I don't know what it looks like for them in the long run, but for week 11, give me the Niners. I don't really want to go with them, but especially because I can't stand Bosa, bro. I'm so tired of this
Oh
guy.
my
I'm
god.
so tired of this guy. And that's the one thing too that annoys me as well. I'm not gonna go on a rant, but that's one of the things that annoys me with this.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
politics are okay when it's your politics.
Oh, for sure.
Politics are okay in sports when when it's your politics. That,
Mm,
that that's the only time it's okay. That's the
yeah.
only time it's all right.
Yeah.
So
Because you will defend your right to hashtag real bro politics.
yeah,
But the
yeah,
politics that were being denounced didn't even have to do with an election, and it really had to do with the larger picture of society.
which doesn't matter,
Yeah,
obviously.
and especially in today's day and
It,
age, I don't know why we're
I
shocked.
obviously it don't matter. So yeah, I
Hey, it
think.
just speaks to the world we live in, right?
Yep.
Hey, I'm going with the Niners too. If that makes anyone feel any better. But I want the Seahawks to do well. I think the
Yeah.
Seahawks have low key carried my fantasy team, right? Shout out Ken Walker, shout out JSN doing some big things on the back end.
Mhm.
But yeah, for whatever reason, the team just isn't pulling it through in the way they need to win ball games. Next
Yeah.
up, we got the Falcons on the road against the Broncos, two animals that I cannot picture in a squabble with each other, Derek. So can we imagine a world in which a falcon is fighting a stag?
No, not at all, man. Not at all. And I've actually there is a falcon that's not that lives around here that we'll
Oh
see every
wait,
once in a
wait, wait,
while.
wait. Time out. Around your neighborhood or around
Yeah.
the Falcons field? Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, no, the actual bird.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they always disappear, bro. Like you'll see them, they'll pop up, and they disappear. And they'll pop up, and it's like I'm out.
Hmm.
Uh, Obviously, that's not what the Falcons are doing this year. you know, that's what we're used to. They have every couple of games they've just disappeared, but for the most part, they're a good team. I think it really depends on what they're able to do with that offense. I know they've had some injuries both sides of the ball, so I don't know who's actually showing up this week. But hmm, I slick want to pick the Broncos in this game, bro,
Hmm.
and I don't know. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Give me the Falcons in this one, but I think it might be a close game.
Dude, I'm doing it. I'm taking the
You are?
plunge. Give me Bo Nix and the Sean Payton led Broncos. I think this matchup is
Yeah,
so strange, though. I agree with you. What
yeah,
ultimately led me to lean is, hey, fuck it, we had Mile High, baby. Fuck it, hey, we got
yeah,
we got a real home court advantage,
yeah,
home field, whatever the fuck you want to call it, ladies
yeah.
and gentlemen. Yeah, man, I think that's the only real X factor here that could sway me. But also, it's weird because like the quality of wins and losses, right? The Broncos should have won against the Chiefs. They
Yes.
got
Oh,
boned because of a multitude of things, but also shout out to the 12th man down there, wherever the fuck the Chiefs are playing, between asking for the refs to let him know when somebody's pulling up
so
and also uh putting the ball on the wrong side of the hash after the play. Like there's a lot going on here, ladies and gentlemen. We could at
yeah,
least try to make it a little more subtle, right?
yeah. I'm so over this team, bro.
We get to talk about him a little. I had to shade him there because I gotta say the fucking Broncos should be 6-4 right now.
They should be.
But and that is another reason, right, to double down. But yeah, man, the Falcons are just so inconsistent, man. One day
They
they
are.
look like a fucking world beater, and then the next minute they want to kill Kyle Pitts again.
I don't get them. Um, yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
at
know.
this point, I don't think it's our job too. So you know what?
Yeah,
Good luck, you guys. Figure it out. I will say this: the defense is better, right? Is it is
yeah,
improved, but
yeah.
I will still firmly say that hey, a first round pick on defense might have helped. But next up,
It would have.
certainly would have,
Yeah.
especially deep into the season like now.
Yep.
We got the Chiefs undefeated still somehow on the road against the Bills. This is a really big marquee one, right? This is one that gets circled before the season even starts.
Hmm.
And these teams are backing up that hype, right? They brought themselves to this position to make it an even more hyped up matchup than when it was first circled.
Yeah.
So it's fucking cold up there in Buffalo, ladies and gentlemen, and hell is hot.
Mm.
And if there's a team that deserves hell right now, it is the Chiefs. I will say this is going to be a very slow game. And I think it needs to be for the Bills if they're going to win. I think the Bills offensively are a lot more potent than the Chiefs have been this entire season. And I
Yeah.
think they're going to put themselves in a position to score way more. The only thing is, um, we got to stop them, right? That ain't easy when you got 12 motherfuckers out there playing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, most importantly, and this is the big one, we still have to take advantage of our opportunities.
Yeah.
And I think last week it was good to see them do that and continue to pour on. This I think this one gets out of hand early. So give me the Bills at home, baby. We're taking
Yeah.
it. The superior team is finally going to win against the Chiefs. Who would have thought?
Yeah, I'm going the Bills as well, man. I think they're getting Isaiah Pacheco back, or I think it's either they're getting him back this week, or or he's working his way back. He'll be back pretty soon. Um, However, yeah, the team doesn't look great at all. And to be in a dogfight with the Broncos is crazy. Um, yeah, give me the Bills, bro. Give me the
I like
Bills.
it. I'm not alone, right? I was a little scared I
Nah,
was going to be alone
nah.
on this island, but
Mm-mm. I have no trust in the Chiefs. I think of course you can trust that they're gonna do well in close games at the end of the game, right? Like if it comes into that situation, they're likely gonna win the game. I don't like how they look this year.
yep. And I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Speaking of teams that I really don't like the way they look. Well, actually, I do fucking like it. We got the Cincinnati Bengals on the road against the Chargers for Sunday night.
Yes, sir.
Um, I just had a flashback. I don't know why to the game of the year 2 years ago, but it wasn't even the Bengals. It was the Browns. You remember? You remember this?
Yeah.
Um, we've got the Bengals and the Chargers. This is a weird game because the Chargers are in a good place, right? They're moving in good directions,
Yes.
and the Bengals need this game. Like
Yes.
this is, I mean, the rest of the season they need, but especially they need this one to bring themselves to 5-6 after winning. So there's no room, right, to afford to lose, and I think that's what makes the biggest difference here. We saw what Joe Burrow under those circumstances looks like
Yeah.
in the game against my Ravens, and holy shit, we barely made it out of there, right? It took a
Yeah.
lot. It took a lot of late game heroics to put us in a position to win that game. So this is a tough matchup, man. I think ultimately, though, I'm going to lean with the team that I think has put it out there more on paper this whole season. Give me the Chargers.
Yeah. Give me the Chargers as well. For the exact same reasons. I can have more trust in their team, at least both sides of the ball.
Which is crazy to fucking say.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
hallmark of inconsistency. The Chargers have found a
Yeah.
backbone under
Yes.
Coach Harbaugh.
Yeah.
What a shocker, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to him, though. I think it's one thing to be that guy in theory. Shout out to Doc Rivers, but to be that guy in practice is big. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll see. Only time will tell. Please get this fucking win, though. I need it. I promise. I
Yes,
need it.
sir.
Next up, we got the Texans coming off of an absolute heartbreaker with some fucking fire unis. I gotta say, holy, I was about to buy
Oof.
me a jersey. Fuck it.
Yeah.
We got the on the road against the Dallas Cowboys on Monday night. We're gonna see the debut of their new weapon, Jonathan Mingo. Gonna look fresh out there with them Dallas Stars, ladies and gentlemen. Holy shit. If they could even see him beyond the sun and the shade. This is a hilarious moment to rejoice in the absolute mediocrity that is the Dallas Cowboys this season, right? I
Yeah.
loved watching Michael Parsons go on that rant. This ain't even for you, Mike. This is for the guys like Zach. And you know what? I get it. You ain't
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
But that was the most spineless way to make that statement, gotta say. But
Micah, I don't know if you feel this way about him. I definitely uh think that he's one of those guys that just shouldn't talk.
and he getting paid to do it. So
Yeah, just don't talk, bro. Like,
get off a bleacher like
cause
now.
yeah, because I understood his perspective. He has a poor way of communicating,
Yeah.
and
I
he
think it's just that he has a way of telling the truth even when he doesn't want to. I think that's the problem.
yeah, that too. He just can't. He cannot put words together very well. Like it doesn't
For a
work.
Dallas Cowboy, that is a shock, brother.
All right. I just great player, horrible orator. I like he cannot. That's not his field. It's just not. It's not.
Yeah,
Um. However, he's not wrong. Like his
I
whole
agree.
thing was what he wanted this year was to get a Super Bowl for the guys that are on their way out, most likely on their way out, and the guys that he feels are going to be put into the ring of the hall, their ring of honor. Um, like I get it. I think he's on his way out because there's no way that man is going to want to spend his prime in Dallas, bro. There is no way. That team couldn't even put up a real series last week, man. And to be honest, I think they're shooting themselves in the foot. Did you see how different they looked when Cooper Rush was out there versus when they actually put Trey Lance out there?
Yep.
There were times where it was like, oh snap, wait, he's actually doing something.
Hmm.
You ain't said that at all at Cooper Rush, bro. But you know what?
Hey,
I
that's
mean,
the Red Rocket. All right,
hey, bro,
he earned this backup spot.
no. When you give up that much for a player, he is supposed to be the backup.
I agree.
I don't know what they're doing in Dallas. I mean, between that and also like having the sun in your own face, bro. You can't
In your own face.
like it's just crazy. Like you literally designed this stadium to do that.
Yeah.
So when the sun goes down, your guy can't even catch the ball. And that's actually, you know what I loved about that game? That narrative of the sun being a factor didn't come into play until it happened to CD Lamb. But the
Yep.
first half, when it was happening for Jalen Hurts, when he got sacked 5 times and all, like it wasn't the sun. It
Nope.
wasn't the sun. No, it's he doesn't. What are you doing? What like so Tony Romo, you can't be biased like that, bro. Like you just can't be.
Mm-mm.
He's talking about sitting up there talking about how, oh, I feel bad for the Jones family and how they had to sit there and look at this. They did this to themselves, bro. Just like the fans did this to themselves. You
Why would you
guys
ever feel
tried to,
bad for that family?
why would you feel bad for the Jones? This is what they want. This is what they decided to go for.
Yeah.
Mediocrity on the field is what they desire at this point. Who should feel bad for them? They should have hired Kellen Moore.
Yep. That
So
looks bad. Yeah, that
miss
looks
me
real
with
bad.
all that, bro.
Honestly, though, I don't even think a fucking coach could have fixed this. Like,
No,
I
no,
feel
no, no,
like,
no. He couldn't. However, you wouldn't be in this position though. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like if you made certain decisions along the way, you wouldn't be in this place.
yeah. Hey,
That
but
being said, I'm taking the Texans, bro. I have no reason to choose the Cowboys. Now, if they actually played Trey Lance, I might pick them this game.
wow, dude, I gotta say this because every time I think about it, just it's so funny to me. 2 years ago, when we did our dynasty startup, my cousin picked this first pick, Trey Lance, the third pick overall in the dynasty startup. And to this day, that is one of the favorite moments that I point to. But then I also got to be honest here, right? Shortly after that, ended up making some transactions with him, gave him McCaffrey, and he ended up winning the title, right? So you can't talk too much shit. The guy figured his way
Oh,
out the hole, but it is one of the most funny moments where I'm always like, hey, but you still drafted Trey Lance with your number one overall. I just got to say.
wait,
But
what?
yeah, man, I think the guy deserves to play. Shout out Cooper Rush. I think he's a baller too. Like I think under the right circumstance, he's gonna go out there and make plays too.
Yeah.
But what can you expect from a backup quarterback? I think if there's any of those guys that has a chance to be a starter, though, it is Trey. So it's like
Yes.
explore that. Like you said,
Yeah.
explore that. It doesn't make sense not to. Um, but I don't know, man. It's just a weird situation entirely. You know what they should do? They should have found a way to trade for Justin Fields when they had a chance. But that's a story for another day.
Hey, they had the opportunity to get Derrick Henry. So if
Oh yeah.
they passed up on that, they weren't going to go get Fields. For what?
Hey, honestly though, if they did sign Henry, and this is going to be once again just revisionist history. If
Yeah.
they did sign Henry, I think we all would have looked at it like, "Hey, that was a stupid move." And low key,
Why?
I understand it because, like, even though I was very happy to get Derrick Henry as well, I didn't expect this Derrick Henry, right? I didn't expect this.
Hmm.
So obviously, all things considered, he's having this kind of performance. You assume it slots in there, but all things considered, I think it was always going to be looked at like a hey, you addressed a need, but also is that the guy moving forward? I don't think so. And obviously now, after the way this year's played out, it's easy to kind of say like, hey, that's someone you want to ride with this window. But it's clear my team has a window. Like I don't know
Yeah.
if this team
Yeah.
has a window. So
Yeah. So
Imagine if they would have got Henry. I think they still would have been in a shitty situation on top of
yeah,
it, and they would have been looked at as, hey, and you paid this guy that is because they probably would have paid him more than we did. So, hey, you paid this
yeah.
guy as well, and now he didn't even help you get to where you need either. So I don't know. Like I think their issues are way beyond position players at this point. Like it's structural, but it's also in the trenches on defense
Mhm.
and execution. Like we need a
Yeah.
clear house, like you said.
So the only reason why I kind of push back against that is because Henry could help in the blocking. Like, and what's one of the biggest
He
issues?
ain't doing it by himself, but yeah.
He ain't, nah. But what's one of the biggest issues? Their line. So all he would have done was fortify the line and give you dynamic run, which they don't have at all. Like, I, I don't know. And then you go get Zeke Elliott as if you're getting Zeke Elliott from 6 years ago. Like, it's not. No, no, no,
Yeah.
no.
I
Now, as
ain't
an
even
Eagles fan, I love seeing this. This is hilarious as hell. It's hilarious as hell. But when you think about it from a fundamental perspective, like, no, you're not doing anything. You're
I
not
mean,
doing anything.
did you expect to lose an adversary of this caliber and then just gain another one? Like, cause that's I would have been low key tight if I was you. Like this is who the fuck we was worried about, and now we just got these other motherfuckers pulled up out of nowhere.
So I wasn't worried about the Cowboys, bro. Like, I haven't been worried about the Cowboys in years.
Every time you say that, I find it very hard to believe. Like this year is
No,
easy to say, but
no,
that
no.
takes a lot of cojones on your part. You
So
acknowledge that, right?
like it's because like when you're talking about specific players that they should have either kept or gone after or whatever. Again, this all starts for me starts with Amari Cooper. It just does. And guess who else they should have just kept? Your man in Tennessee. So like you keep getting these either getting players that you draft or have the opportunity to go after and you don't either keep them or go for them. I don't understand what you're expecting to do.
Dude, it's like the Jets. It's like let's make the move that's gonna keep us in the headlines. Like
That's
that.
all
That
it
is the
is.
goal.
That's
Yeah.
all it is. It's a marketing ploy. There's no I'm not upset about it. I don't care. Like this is the reason like it's
This
just
is great.
it's amazing. Like it's hilarious as hell to watch. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's promotional malpractice, right? We'll call it what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, nobody's gonna stop them. Yeah, I agree. Who knows? The Texans got a lot of things to figure out too, especially when it comes to
Mhm.
closing games. They're also injured, which you hate
Yep.
to see. But Joe
Yep.
Mixon, absolute baller, right? I think single-handedly, Joe Mixon might just win this game alone, right?
He might.
They don't even need CJ out there. But
Nope.
shout out to the Miko Ryans doing great things with this Texans team. Gotta show them some love, right? Because we've
Yes,
just been
sir.
absolutely airing out the block and then riding back like, hey, we not done here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I love a good victory lap. It always feels good to watch bad decisions get punished, right? One of my favorite things in just life in general is to hit people with the A, but I was never punished though. Like, it's because you could do a lot of dumb shit, but were you punished for it?
Right.
It's about time the Cowboys are answering to those punishments.
They're
But
paying for their sins.
yes, sir, big time. And with all that being said, Derek, we are through another week. Ladies and gentlemen, we're wrapped up on week 11. Thank you so much for tuning in and locking in with us. As always, Derek, why don't you remind the people where they can find you?
Yes, sir. You can follow me at Derrick underscore OTS. That's DERICK, the black way to spell it. Chick-fil-A.
Yes, sir. Make sure you're locked in. You could catch me and Negron MMA on TikTok as well as the Twitter machine. Hey, I'm still holding the dream, right? Even though Elon is a tool, Twitter's still I. And
Yeah.
you could also follow me at Chris Negron underscore. But with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, until next week, just remember, right? When things are going rough, all kinds of things are not working out in your day to day the way you expected them to. Just remember that your quarterback could be a man with the blonde mane that should have been your savior, that should have been the man to lead you to the promised land. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Even da 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 Doug couldn't figure this one out. But hopefully you can. We'll see you all for week 12. Peace.